Good afternoon. Um, as you probably realize that um, there are people out there who are in what I call deep thought or deep think, um, who are trying to understand their feelings and where they fit in their life as a sense of knowing, because our feelings actually don't belong to us personally. That's why we all have them and can't control them, but they're controlled by symbols and icons and what I call the manure pile. What is the manure pile? You aren't going to like this. It's academics. Yep, higher education. And it's not a good or bad thing. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's not a truth or lie thing. But it is a guilt and innocent thing. And before I get into how legally applied um, constructs work on you through what's called denotation, which is going to be another subject, but I'm going to get back to the manure pile. We're all in deep shit. And I use that word. I mean, I can be polite about it and say, oh, we're in a terrible emotional crisis. Or I could say that, wow, we have a behavioral conditioning problem and we're going to have to put a label on it and a tag on it. And we're going to have to rely on DMS5 to save us from mental diseases. My goodness, everybody's crazy. But not those that cause war. Not those playing with people's brains. All right. Scientists. And we have a thing called the mind. The brain and the mind are different. Your body and brain are or I should say, an organic state of self-consciousness always. Your epigenetics match the outside that has to match the inside for you to have an accurate sense of reality. That's called RNA, DNA synchronicity. We don't have that. And I'm not going to get into ACHR imbalances in cellular biology, which I also study. But science is trying to say right now we're in a pruning process. Yeah, the brain is pruning itself from unused synaptic information. So what does that entail? Actually, it's our passive self-awareness being actually eliminated. Yeah, it is lesionated, actually. How does that happen? Well, that's going to be the cellular biology narrative in the future, foregoing. It'll be on my website. And I'm going to entitle it Synaptic Elimination, not synaptic pruning, like science is trying to say that, oh, it's a natural process. But meanwhile, while we have the natural process, we have a thing called the neocortex struggling right now to basically shut down the brain for neural proximity or neural occupation. So what's that mean? This has to do with the manure pile. The academic manure pile. We're supposed to believe that governments have our well-being at heart, but they're going to brand us and control us to do what? Manipulation. They manipulate money. They manipulate the sale of goods, tax to death. People working their ass off and go nowhere. We know how that works. How many people out there are starving right now or not comfortable with their situation, which wasn't that bad back in the 60s and 70s. Decrepit, no less, headed to where we are now. But the shit heap wasn't as deep as it is now. So I'm going to cut to the chase because I'm watching the counter and we start getting up around 6 to 10 minutes. We're over people's conscious attention levels. So, what's the point of the shit heap? If you're a believer, you occupy a symbol. Either you occupy one, occupy one, or you think you should because somebody told you you should, i.e. you believe in what they say. Not what they do, what they say. Okay? That's the psychology of intent. Now, if somebody controls all the intentions, how are you going to do that? You need rules and laws. Make more rules, you rule them, that's the law. Now, if you're perceptive, you see more rules, and the people who occupy them, all right, hats, badges, stripes, robes, military, police. You see all these people as what? Protectors of the peace that doesn't exist except under their terminology. Terminology. They're going to use your truth against you in a court of law. You know that, right? If you don't, you better wake up because you have a sad state of affairs coming. If you think you're going to have justice, you're going to have justice. Denotation has no justice. It's a judge. It's a one-way street. It's a judge. Your decision-making, i.e. connotation, might be, could be, should be, does not exist. There's no such thing as meaning. You are the meaning of meaning if you can, what, hold on to it, sustain it, protect it. How about this? If your feelings are in a state of direct knowing, you not only see the shit heap, you don't want to get into it. So unfortunately, we got garbage in our heads. A lot of symbols, a lot of icons. This means this, that means that. And you get a gold star for remembering the symbol that fits you best. Or you remember the tag that somebody else puts on you to demean you. Yeah, that's a strategy of psychology. So I'm not going to get into the 5 academic hells on earth. That's another talk. And I'm not going to get into the 8 deadly sins, which we all buy into and we expect to redeem us. Right. That's good. So what's the cut to the chase on this one? Self-realization, people. Your feelings mean a lot. They don't belong to you. They belong to everybody. It's a universal parallel of consciousness. We are in a brat race trying to get to the final stage where we're on the same parallel levels. Individuals, all doing what they want to do with respect and dignity, right? The whole theme of law is to protect us from what? Killing each other, hurting each other. But what are we doing with the law? Same goddamn thing. How does that work? You want to figure that one out? We'll have a major conversation on that one. Because until you understand who you are, and what you feel, and you understand those feelings, you're in an emotional queue that hasn't opened yet. Imagine all of the passive feelings you've had since a child that contained everything, every question, every doubt you ever had. And it's available to you if you open that queue. But that's Pandora's box too. Anyway, we're approaching the 10-minute mark, so I'm not going to go into a tirade on that one. Anyway. We're talking to people that feel something. That's all. They feel something very sacred, very personal, very tender, very caring, very loving. So if we learn to share that, we aren't going to share the indecency and the inhuman nature of what we've learned in schools, colleges, in institutions that impose conditions that make you be a part of a war that you don't want to be a part of a psychological, dehumanizing systems think. And they want you a part of it. They want you in that game. 5 academics, they're all games. High priced, well paid off games. So once you realize that, and there's a lot more that goes with this. So, but we have to be careful now because we're going to be stepping on a lot of toes here. They serve a purpose if they want to. Right now, they don't. They can backtrack and get it and say, look, we're really sorry for this shit. But law doesn't apologize, does it? Psychology doesn't apologize, does it? They want you to bend over. Pay them. No? You think so? No? Yes? Where do you stand on it? With it? For it? Against it? Don't say anything? Just let the shit happen to you? Okay. Enough on this. Look forward to seeing you again. Go to my website. I think you'll like it. You won't, well, let's put it this way. You won't like it, but you will like it. Sword has 2 edges, cuts in both directions. Anyway, have a good day.